Good morning, Cowboy Jim. Sunday morning, Fort McMurray. Nice day actually up here. Pretty nice. In My entertainment is somewhat, shall we say, restricted. Limited, restricted indicates forced. It's not really forced. It's somewhat of a choice. And that being to watch Yellowstone. Greatest Western I've ever had the privilege of watching. And I I also squeeze in some CTV as long as they're not talking about the Olympics. I really support our Olympic teams and so on like that, and individuals. And but I am adamantly opposed to Chinese Communist Party, and am actually quite opposed to the leaders of the world who have sold their souls to China for a dollar, big dollar. And so I don't watch the Olympics. It's my choice, doesn't matter. But the one thing that I do enjoy is I'm going to have to stop this stuff. Gee whiz. I've been talking for a long time and I have not gotten around that use of that word. It'd be different, I suppose, if it could be a being Canada, Canadian. What I watch, oh shoot, are the politicians in Ottawa, especially the Liberals, coalescing, I think that's the right word, around their vaunted leader, blackface, racist, arrogant, liberal leader. I have been watching Jasmeet Singh. I believe that it may well have been a waste of breath, but the next 2 days will validate who and what he is, and moreover, what the NDP party stands for. Personally, I've never thought they stood for anything. They pretended to stand for the blue collar workers of Canada. Well, we will see, won't we? The next 2 days, while they have serious discourse about the War Measures Act. I hope I've said that enough that people will realize that the Emergencies Act is what started out as being the War Measures Act. And in order to make it more palatable for people, the government, in its wisdom, has changed the name to Emergencies Act. Well, I guess we have had an emergency in Canada, haven't we? The Canadian truckers, a lot of Canadian families, a lot of ranchers, a lot of farmers, a lot of normal, everyday folk have watched diligently our Prime Minister, whom I am ashamed of, but then he's probably ashamed of me too, and certainly people have been ashamed of me. I've never found almost did it again, another Prime Minister who I held in such contempt, such derision, because I have never seen a Prime Minister in abject arrogance demean those who elected him, placed him in power, and he has ridden roughshod over everything that is good and decent and pure. spoken of our Canadian Freedom Convoy participants. I was so honored to go to Coutts and spend a day and a bit with the protesters down there. What a joy. What an honor. You know, when I was a kid, I grew up around what we used to call camp meetings. Uh, they would have a really good preacher, and he better be good. They would probably have 300 to 600 people in attendance, and we ate together and we sang old hymns together. Not the type of praise and worship they do nowadays, where they repeated the same verse 42 times in a row. But Coutts was like that for me. I haven't been in church for 15, 18 years perhaps. Went once last year with a friend. Didn't like it at all. Didn't like the type of service. Oh, we sang the one song 25 times. It was about as deep as a half-inch puddle after a rain. But in Coutts, I saw Canadians who were protesting, which in itself is a rarity. I listened as much as I could, stand Trudeau and his kowtowing to the world leaders who wanted to scare the hell out of everyone so that the peoples of the world would not know which way to turn and all that stuff. And we could talk about China. Well, pretty well. I think I delineated that fairly well. Soviet Russia. Biden keeps telling Putin, I think he's going to invade in a couple of days. What that means is Biden is saying, give her hell, son. We won't interfere. Oh, we may try to curtail your ability to buy hot chocolate or something somewhere in the world, but Putin doesn't need the acquiescence of America. We, as Canadian convoy people, average Canadians, we don't need Trudeau's blessing for anything. Trudeau needs our blessing for everything. So, NDP are revealing themselves, their character and or their lack of character. The Liberal Party is gathering around their vaunted leader. What a waste of breath. The Conservatives are potentially smartening up a bit, possibly. Boy, there are some good Conservatives there. I wish Stephen Harper were there. I wish Donald Trump were shouting encouragement to the Conservatives, but he's not. He is shouting encouragement to the Canadian convoy. So we're going to wrap this up really quickly here. We're going to say in the next 2 days, we are going to see how Canada unfolds before us. See what the composition of our Canadian government is, and see who's in control of it. If you want wealth and privilege to run our country, well, you just pray for that fatherless child. His name is Justin Trudeau, blackface, insensitive, racist, arrogant, piece of human, it's my opinion, dung. Anyways, YouTube tells me try to encourage people to subscribe to your channel. Well, I would subscribe to my own channel because I know the intent of my heart. I hope in your watching you will understand a little of the intent of my heart. It's not just to get rid of Trudeau, but it's to get rid of the symbolism that Trudeau actually stands for, which is wealth and privilege. The fulfillment of what his namesake, or whatever, Pierre Elliott Trudeau said. Sure, don't think there's any genetic connection there, but there could be. Trudeau said, you can do anything to a Canadian, and 3 months later they will re-elect you because that's just how smart they are. Oh, I hope we get a privilege and an opportunity of voting again one day, and we'll show that fatherless child just how smart we Canadians are. God bless you, and you have a good day. I hope your day goes well. God bless.